The chapter, the third, and in the third chapter of Shal Bitachon, the third introduction in Bitachon B'Hashem. We said that if someone says that he believes in God, but he also believes in somebody else, that's not called believing in God. And over here he brings in a couple ideas how to see how this is possible in a couple of ways. We see this over here in the Shal Bitachon. It brings, especially the king. There's a king, his name, Melech Asa. Who knows who the king Melech Asa was? In Divrei Yamim is mentioned over there. Also in Melachim is mentioned very little. He's a king from Malachei Yehuda. He did right in the eyes of God. He was a righteous king. He brought the Jewish people closer, took them, destroyed idols. He had a very strong opinion. Then the Navi told him something. Basically, we're not going to go to the whole history. Background over here, but the Navi told him something. He didn't listen, and from there he started doing his own thing. And what was the last hay on the stack that everything that they lost everything? Over here it's brought down. Shal Bitachon Rabbeinu Bechaya tells us that וכבר ידעת מה שאמר הכתוב בעשה המלך, the king Asa. What happened? על אף צדקתו, even though he was so righteous, כאשר בטח על הרופאים באומרו. When he told them, they said, I trust and believe I trust the doctors. The second he said that, he trusts the doctors, he put his bitachon b'Hashem. He put his bitachon, his trust where? In the doctors. And then after that it says, ויחלה עשה, וגם חילו לא דרש את השם כי ברופאים. It says that he put his trust with the doctors, and over there was his punishment that he died. ונענש על כך, ואמר הכתוב, it says in ירמיה, ברוך הגבר אשר יפתח בהשם, והיה השם יפתחו.
Are we allowed to trust the doctors?
Of course, I'm saying.
To feel like you're trusting them?
But first, Hashem.
Not first. We don't over here, not first.
Why?
The idea over here is not, if someone tells you, you're the only doctor that can help this in this case is a doctor in Boston. So you go to Boston. That's the reason why you're doing them, because you're doing hishtadlut. You're trusting the process. Like God is giving you a process over here to do. So now you take the person that's sick and you go to Boston. Why? Because that's a hishtadlut. What I could do, hishtadlut means what could I do for myself? I could at least push. I can't do the whole entire thing, but at least I do. Okay, let's say I can't be a millionaire by sitting all day on my chair. I have to go to work. When I work, I make a vessel in order to get and receive from God whatever it is. Well, if someone's looking for wealth. The idea also over here is like this: when someone is trust, what his mistake was that he says, "I trust in." We'll see in a second. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I trust in God, but he trusts the doctors. If you trust the process that this person is sick and you have to go right now to find the best doctor in order to do shtadlut, to do my vessel in order to be healthy, so that's okay. But the second you start saying, I went to the best doctor, therefore I should be healthy. Why? Because this doctor has miraculous, he knows how to move this machine very, very well inside the body, and he knows how to do surgery the best. Over there you missed the point. And he brings over here and explains here. continues on over the Shal Bitachon Rabbeinu Bechaya. ומי היודע שהכל הבוטח על שני ממונים מבני אדם או יותר, על כך כדי להוציא פועלו דבר מסוים יהיה ביטחונו בטל. He says, if you trust one person, you have the greatest trust. You trust, that means you have real bitachon. But the second you trust in two people, batel. It's like you don't trust nobody. Why? If you trust two people, what does that mean? Think about it. If you trust two people, that means if you really trusted one of them, you don't need the other person. Understand? So you don't trust the first guy, the first person. You don't trust that. You trust them in a certain extent. Another person you trust them also in a certain extent. That means both of them cannot exceed in a certain way. So what happens? You basically don't trust him when you trust him, and him until you trust him. So bottom line, you're not having any bitachon on nobody, or you don't trust anybody. The reason why I don't trust anybody, because you feel, let's say, if you give too much information to this person, he's going to know too much. So you tell half the information to one person, half the information to another person. So what happens over here? You lose the point of bitachon b'Hashem. Same thing with bitachon with God. We said there's two types of there's two types of revelation that God protects you and watches you. Insurance. If you go to insurance, you get there's a couple of levels. So you want to get right now the best insurance. The best insurance is that you leave you don't trust any physical thing, and you understand that this is my boss gives me money means nothing to me. This is my the boss gives money. It's all a vessel that I'm doing. All I'm doing right now is waking up in the morning, going to my work. When I wake up in the morning and go to work, what do I do? I make a vessel to make money. It's not that I go to this work and the boss gives me money. It doesn't make sense. I'm saying it doesn't make sense to a person that believes in God in a high level. To us, it makes sense. Now, a person that takes this and that revelation that he gets is gilui, means revealed. God, he sees in his day-to-day life, God gives him a paycheck. God takes care of him, watches over him 100%. Then there's another person that he starts putting his belief in doctors, starts putting his belief in other people, starts putting belief in people that are going to support him and take care of him. The second he does that, what happens? He loses everything. Why? Because if you trust this person, that means you don't trust God to a certain extent. If you don't trust God to a certain extent, God says there's no point of me putting a revealed or AA plus package of insurance on you. I'm going to put on you a B minus. It means God's watching you. And the hidden of the hidden. If you need a high protection, I'll be there to help you. So over here we learn that if someone takes for granted this idea of having bitachon b'Hashem, and in a level that is trusting only God, it says in the pasuk. "Imamar HaKaduv in Yirmiyah, Arur HaGever asher yiftach ba'adam v'sam b'sar zo'or." What happened? That if someone is cursed is the one that trusts human beings. That you're trusting flesh. You're trusting a bag of meat and bones. That's what you're trusting. And you're losing the point over here. And the idea that someone has to stand that and understand that even right now I don't understand where am I holding in life. And right now for me it's hard. That let's say my boss fired me. It could be that in 2 weeks from now you're going to find a better job that pays better. Or the boss gives you more menuchat nefesh, you're more calm in life. So from all this, you're going to tie into the point that if you trust 100% in God, imagine you trust 100% of the doctors. That means you have to be very nice to him. Of course, you have to be nice to every single person, but you have to start being cheesy. And also, we're trying to give him more money to help him. Everything over here is bottom line with money. But over here, if you trust God and 100%, have a 100% belief in God. Let's say you have a problem with the education of your child, and you right now will say you're going to send to the best teacher or the best therapist. This is not going to help. If you have trust in God and believe in 100%, tell him, Gadosh Baruch Hu, I trust in you and believe in you. Help me in this situation. And you say it belev shalem. It's not like you say it outwards and inwards. You tell like we said in the chapter 2, that if someone says something outwards, saying a lot of words, but inside it means something else. God doesn't check what you say. It doesn't interest you. Whatever comes out of my mouth, it's interesting. You guys hear it. In my thoughts, I can say something completely opposite. And for God, you can't tell him one thing and think something else, and he wouldn't understand. He knows exactly what you think and what's in your heart. You can't cheat God.